What up? It is Dick the Knife, aka Saves Tuesday, here with another episode of World Podcast Wrestling WPW. We didn't get canceled. We didn't get canceled, guys. We're still here. I'm gonna run the show again this week. Huck is still put on the shelf. Why we do not know. There has been some leaked footage, but I'm not trusting the sources. And honestly, the dirt sheets haven't picked it up yet, so it might not be true. But before we get into everything and before I introduce our guest, it's same thing, man. It's tpublic.com. Search WPW, search World Podcast Wrestling. Snark Burley, huge help to me, to Huck, to the show in general, who's been helping us out from the beginning. She's got our store on there to help us out. It's a Saturday. We haven't recorded on a Saturday since the start of this, and that's the reason I'm wearing my World Podcast Wrestling tune inspired shirt, which you can find on T Public. That out of the way, we got our resident guest here, not Logan, who will be down here in a couple minutes, but on tap Sportsnet guy, PremierAmp, once again helping a brother out. Thank you very much. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Like you said, beautiful Saturday. Here to talk about some wrestling. We had, like you said, we had Revolution last week. Couple interesting shows for WWE this week as well, apparently, and lots to come out this week. A lot of stuff going on, man. So what do you got on the news front, man?
News front. Honestly, it's a good thing that Huck is not here today because he would be butchering what I'm about to say. But there's a report coming out that Andrade Cien Almas, no more anyway.
Yeah.
asked for his release from WWE, apparently. I guess this happened on Monday, and he was denied. So, usually when these things happen, we don't see them again until their contract is over. And to me, I'm surprised if this report is true, I'm surprised they denied it, especially with who he is with over there. Yes, Charlotte, for those who don't know, and Charlotte obviously gets her way with everything. So this is a little weird. What do you got to say about that?
It's very weird to me because being that, and I'm not saying he's purely with her for that. Obviously, this kind of shows now that he's not. But it's just weird to me that you, as a company, you ask for your release and you don't get granted the release. It's like, what are you holding on for? Like, what? They're not using them. It's the same thing with Aleister Black. They're not using these guys. What are you doing other than just basically holding on to them because you want to? And
that's it. They don't want anyone else to have them, and that's the most selfish bullshit in the world. You want somebody to do what they want. They love wrestling. This guy's loved it. And they just say no, and then we're just going to pay you to sit around. I mean, some people might love that. Some people might love sitting, catering, get that check, but come on, man. Especially in this day and age, man.
Yeah, some of these guys just want to compete, and it kind of brings me to the point where, yes, a lot of the backlash from Sunday was, oh, we've got a surprise debut, signing for AEW. And it was a little letdown for people, being that, I'm excited for who it is. It's just, it was overhyped, like we kind of talked about prior to the show. But at the same time, if you look back, he got the same treatment, which is Christian, got the same treatment, basically saying, hey, we don't have anything for you, so we're not going to really offer you a contract. So he's like, okay, peace out. I still want to wrestle. So he went somewhere where he can. And if it's my personal opinion, I know a lot of people, once people get released, they're like, oh, AEW. I think Andrade would have been a absolute perfect fit in ROH. I think he would have fit in right in well with ROH, maybe that Impact area. I'm not saying no to AEW because I love AEW, but I just think he could fit well in a lot of other places. And I wish that company would just allow people to walk, when they're not being used. I just think it's
100% agree with you on that one. Imagine how you feel if you're at your job and you're like, I want to quit, and they tell you no. I'm like, motherfucker, are you kidding me right now?
You're like, you can't.
But then again, if they tell me to just stay home and get paid, all right, fucking maybe.
But, and that's the thing is, right now it's not like he's technically sitting in catering because he doesn't have to even show up because of.
That's true. He's not traveling.
So, I mean, I would be surprised if he's not traveling with, Charlotte being there. But hey, you know what? It's unfortunate they won't give it to him. We'll see maybe if something will change. I'm surprised that they don't have anything for him, being that he's with her though. Like, I'm like, wow, I'm surprised they didn't just pair him together. Or it's all been downhill for him since Vega left. That's really where it all started.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, them together it was greatness. When he was in NXT as that, I don't know, Playboy pimp looking outfit where he'd come out with the suspenders and it was horrible. Then they gave him this party gimmick, which was great by him just partying too much. In came Zelina Vega. There goes Logan yelling right now. He's back. Took a while. Zelina Vega comes in, settles him down, gets his mind right, goes to a fucking NXT title, and becomes a fucking dope ass badass dude, despite what Huck says. And yeah, and honestly, I'm not like that with him at AEW either, because I think of him in ROH, give him the feud with Roosh, where they started Los Ingobernables before, or even have him go over to Japan with New Japan, and there it is, the leader, the original Los against the Japan version, the Japon. It'd be good stuff to me. But either way, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see if they're gonna use him, which they probably won't, or we're just going to see how long his contract is. I'm not sure how long his contract is there for.
I'm not sure either.
I mean, either way, we're just going to have to wait to see Andrade, which sucks because I'm an Andrade fan. I think the guy is just cool as shit, got the swag. He doesn't. He's got the talent, man. But what you going to do? Honestly, the only other thing in news, well, you have something in news, but we'll get to that in a bit. So before we get to that, let's just cover not so much main roster WWE, but let's talk about NXT real quick. I know there was something on there that you wanted to address because there was some news this week on NXT where they introduced NXT Women's Tag Team titles. And before you get into this, I think it's a good idea. There's Logan again. The NXT, he agreed. The NXT Women's division has always been freaking damn good to great. And they are a division where they have tag teams, like legit women's tag teams. This is where you're going to start going off on your rant because they gave the titles to a legit women's tag team.
All right, here's
Dakota Kai and her enforcer.
So here's where my real problem lies in this. So you go through the first ever women's tag team Dusty Classic. In order for the winner to go on to face the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Fine. All right. There's your main problem is the fact that you're putting them against the main roster champions, but you're supposed to be a developmental show. I don't have an issue with that, but most of the time the women's tag team titles on the main roster are just paired up with individual stars.
Single stars.
I think a lot of people were under the impression with the tag titles for the main roster should have just converted and been the NXT women's. That's where it should have been. It should be the women's tag team champions for NXT, and you carry on. But the problem is like you said, they get screwed out of a match last week, and then they get awarded. And the worst part is that I hate, like, there's so many things I hate about it. All right, they get screwed out of a match facing a heel team when they're a heel.
They're a heel themselves.
Okay, so they get screwed out of a match being a heel team and then get awarded the titles
as a heel
team.
As a make good, which is something you would do to baby faces that get screwed, kind of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So then, an hour after they get awarded the titles, they lose to a makeshift singles star of baby faces. The logic behind the booking, you cannot tell me that makes any bit of fucking sense. From step one, the winning team should have obviously been Ember Moon and Io Shirai. And then that's where you have Dakota Kai and her enforcer come in and take the titles off of them. That's where it makes fucking sense. And yes, I get it. Dakota Kai came out on Twitter and said, oh, there's only one, first. I get it. That's cool. You're the first NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. But guess what? You're also the first ones to lose it in an hour.
That's true. There's always a first.
Always a first. but it just makes no sense. You have all these, like you said, you have tag teams of women, in NXT, most of which are heel, I think, right? I mean, I think you have Casey and drawing a blank on her partner, and then you
Oh,
probably
yeah,
you could look,
Carter. Is that what it is? Yeah.
yeah, and then you probably have
So you have Candice
Andrade,
and Indy,
yeah, which would be fine, but like, I mean, you
which
have
is where it looks like they're probably gonna go. And if that was the case, just fucking why
why
not give
didn't
it
you
to a
do that
face?
from the jump?
Yeah.
It's just like you
Or
said, it's ridiculous.
have a face team win it, and then yeah,
I
it's.
just,
I think it was what you said in our group chat of main roster booking has invaded NXT. Or what was it basically like? There it is. WWE just
yeah,
there's booking again.
it's hold my beer real quick, like. It's just that's that stuff that makes me mad where you're just like, what are you doing? Like the end game to this makes no sense because you botched it from the start. Like, yeah, like I said, it was something about main roster booking on NXT. That's where
Yeah.
you saw Vince's fingerprint on that one.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Um, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that entire thing where it just looked the booking was they they
And
didn't
that's
know who they were booking for. It almost felt like it was so much a babyface type thing, but we're gonna screw the heels over again. Like, okay, yeah, the heels should get their comeuppance, but not when they're nonstop getting screwed. It's like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on? It's always the Daniel Bryan story: get screwed, get screwed, get screwed, get screwed. Finally gets bam, redemption. You don't do that to heels all the time because when you do that to heels all the time, you end up turning them babyface because we start looking and sympathizing.
yeah,
That's almost what they were doing. And Dakota Kai was her heel turn was fucking amazing. There should be no sympathy for her, like taking out
absolutely.
Tegan Knox. So like,
There's
I'm
no
not gonna
sympathy. You
no,
haven't
no
enforced it.
sympathy, no sympathy. Yeah, you got fucking uh,
It-
NXT.
That's what I'm saying, and that's not even where their booking stopped because it's like you could sit there and you read the end of that night like a book. You're like, oh, Adam Cole's going for the title. I wonder what's gonna happen. Oh no, I wonder.
So, yeah, what I was gonna get into next with that is, it seems we're gonna get Cross getting his title shot back against Balor. So
Oh my God, really? Should he have done that after fucking breaking his arm or whatever he did? Yeah, I think so. No, but when he comes back, he gets put into a feud for the fucking cruiserweight title. What? Like,
no,
I
agree.
the dude had to relinquish the title, and the feud he comes back to has nothing to do with the title that he should go for. But hey, that isn't reminiscent of what I said last week about Edge either.
Yeah,
I want what I never lost. Oh, I'm going for the Universal title. Oh wait, that
which I
never
never
existed
had.
when I.
Yeah,
Stupid booking.
stupid to quote
Hey,
Randy Orton. Yeah. Well,
bad
how about we'll just go to after that. After you were heated, it almost you didn't go as far as I did with my Sting rant last week, but it still was pretty good. Let's just go to what we talked about last weekend, or last week, I should say. We had a pay per view this weekend, and
If you ask
yeah,
Huck, it went terribly.
no. Okay, we're see. Oh no, see, this isn't even the thing. It ended on a sour note. The pay per view itself, which I thought was fucking damn good. It was, to me, I thought it was worth the money because the matches that were on there, the matches were good.
Yes.
That fucking main event was really good.
Four
The
and a half
fucking
stars.
Sting, dude, the Sting
Yeah.
Darby street fight was fucking great. The only downer, that fucking, I said it, the commentary ruined it. I think they should have never had commentary over that. Other than that, it was damn good and fun to watch and enjoyable, and it was shot beautifully.
Yeah,
Just
you could thank Darby for that one if you knew.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, he has his background in student
Film.
filmmaking, and yeah, it was damn good. Just so Revolution was this weekend, and you have some notes about the pay per view itself and the numbers that it put up. So I'll let you go ahead and take the floor on that one.
So yeah, I got to pull this up here. So yeah, it was the other day, yesterday, I think I said, right? They came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out and said, as per Meltzer, it said that AEW Revolution has grossed around $7 million in pay-per-view buys, making it the highest grossing non-WWE pay-per-view since 1999. BR Live numbers were up 50% and 20 to 40% increase in international streaming numbers. That is a record number of buys. this person that posted this other stuff said that where this is a problem though is you see those numbers and then you went into seeing I don't know if you pay close attention to the actual viewing numbers on Wednesday that happened. They were down very
Look,
significantly
okay.
from the previous week. They were at like 900,000 last Wednesday. This Wednesday they dropped down to like 770. And people were, I think it was 770 or 730. I can't remember the exact number. And people were like, oh, that definitely has to do with the botched finish. And here's the thing, Dick. I pay close attention to what else is on that night. And you had sports back, you had NBA, you had a lot of people watch The Challenge, if you ever watch that MTV show. And
I
then,
know of.
yes, I know. My wife and I watched that. And then they had a South Park special. And those two
Yes.
shows were the top in the top 3 of the most viewed shows that night. And I hate saying it, but I think a lot of people went and watched that South Park special because it was obviously ranked above AEW that night. NXT was way down the list.
Yeah, it was in my my friends group chat. That's what they were talking about was the South Park thing. I mean, I haven't watched the South Park since I was like in 6th grade, and
Yeah.
that's when I was 12. I'm 35 now, and that goes to show you how fucking long that show's been on the fucking air. Oh
It's
shit!
on. It's been on for a long time. But see, that's what I'm saying though. With the fact that you had other stuff going into it. Yes, I think some people got sour off of that, but I don't think it was a 200K loss because of that. I think that 200K loss was a mixture of, people being sour about that and all these other shows on at the same time. They still, I don't know. I look back at this Wednesday show, man. I mean, I have to ask you for your opinion on that show. Or
Yes.
we going into the pay-per-view a little bit.
You know what? I say we go into the pay per view, but
And then
also, yeah, it'll trickle in because what I want to talk about the pay per view. I'm not going to go match for match. I want to talk about mainly the main things that came out and basically what the follow up was on Dynamite. We could even do that in like the same sentence when we do it. But honestly, you're talking about the big thing that happened. I don't know if you want to get that out of the way or you want to.
I want to. I kind of want to hold off because I got
Want
a
to hold
question.
off?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, to me we'll see if we're on the same page because to me the biggest news of the night was Maki Ito showed up on the buy-in, and I'm all for it, baby. Give me all the Maki Ito I can get.
yeah. I'm gonna tell you what. I have no issues with who she is. I don't know if you saw social media this week. A lot of bad things. A lot of hate. Wednesday wasn't a great view for her. She had a couple issues, but I chalk that up for not being used to being where she
Those
is.
uh those mic those
Hey,
mic
those
shots to the head.
they were deadly mic shots, bro. They were like an inch away from hitting her on the head. I think she's great though. I think character wise, man, I think she's a bubbly, fun personality to have
Yes.
around. She does well. She's gonna need a lot of experience though in the you know more Americanized television process.
Yes. I mean, Japanese wrestling has so much different subgenres where if you're an American wrestling fan and you watch it over there, honestly, if you're an American fan and you watch New Japan for the first time, you're probably like, what the fuck is this sports like feel type shit? Where's my stupid promos? Where's my sports entertainment?
Yes.
But there's also an aspect over there with like Toriano where he just comes out shilling DVDs the entire time making stupid fucking faces. Um, there's the comedy section over there. There's almost like the Shikara type of aspect of just overly cartoonish. This is stupid shit. You got Kenny wrestling with
A
an
doll.
invisible a doll, invisible people. So
Children.
you bring that to American TV on a big show or on a main station, I should say, like TNT. People could be like, "What the fuck am I watching?" I love it. I her entrance on the pay per view
Was phenomenal, I thought.
popped me on
It popped the crowd.
the dancing. Her entrance on Dynamite where
It's
they're
hysterical.
fighting and she's still singing. She's like, "No, I don't give a fuck. I'm singing my song."
Yes,
So
that's
to
the
me,
true
it's
star
great.
right there. Like, stop interrupting me. I'm singing.
I'll get in that ring when I want. But yeah, I agree. Work's needed, but she's young. She's hilarious. I'm all for it. And
Absolutely. Kenny loves her. I mean, a lot of the fan base, the true core, like, how like we always used to say like the NXT crowd like has its core. Well, now that
Yes.
AEW is stuck in Daly's place, like you have the core people, and I know a couple people that go through a group chat, and a lot of people love her. But if you look at stuff on social media, and I think that was one of the worst rating like segments of Wednesday's show was that match. And I think a lot of people
I
tuned
thought it
out.
was a good match. I liked it because, I mean, anytime Thunder Rosa's on TV, I'm watching.
And
Anytime. What's up?
that brings us to Wednesday, buddy. You ready for that one? First ever main event?
Bruh. Fuck it. I can say we can do that later. Let's just talk about it now. Next week, main event is going to be Thunder Rosa versus fucking Britt Baker in the lights out, unsanctioned match. The last time we had one was Mox and it was Mox and Kenny. They had the lights out, unsanctioned, and these two have been going at it for months, and give me all of it. Thunder Rosa is a beast. Britt Baker's heel work since she was injured and the character change that she had has been fucking top notch. Where is she behind me on my wall? There's Britt. I fucking love her. I love Thunder Rosa. These two in a damn legit ass street fight. Sign me the fuck up. I want it, and I want it now. I want it bad.
I was laughing because I guess in their media scrum after the pay-per-view, they asked Tony Khan like about when the women might main event a show. And he goes, yeah, probably within the next few weeks. And then it's like Wednesday's show goes through, they start announcing everything. And that, I mean, we'll get into more of those matches for next Wednesday too, but like you get, all of a sudden you're like, oh, cool, we're going to get one eventually in the next few weeks. And I was like, I have a feeling Tony Khan literally means in the next few weeks. And all of a sudden I'm watching the show and they go, and the main event for next week. And I go, this motherfucker. He literally meant like 2 weeks because he hit that one right on that perfect. I wish the first women's main event would have been a title match of some sort.
Yeah, I mean,
but unfortunately the stories around Hikaru Shida aren't always the best as of right now. Not on her, it's just kind of what's going on in the world. Yeah. But we have a legitimate feud, and it actually makes me happy to know that there's a feud that was built by the two women. This was not anything put up by anybody else. They started this on social media, and they get the main event to finish off the feud. What else could I ask for? Like, that's, I don't know. I think that's called booking.
Is that what it is? And you know what? Fucking
confused.
Man, kudos to fucking Britt because this is the second time she's been in a feud where it's going to basically culminate in a street type of fight. I mean, her and Swole were going at it for a while when Britt was injured, and then it ended in that dentist match. I forgot what exactly they called it, but I mean, it wasn't the greatest. That was actually the one opening the last time Huck bought an AEW pay-per-view. So, sorry to bring that up, bud. But it's still Britt in a feud, which you are getting invested in because I was not the biggest Big Swole fan.
Yeah.
Her going back and forth with Britt, Swole.
That was a great feud.
Doing the clapbacks on her, calling her Basura Baker was just fucking hilarious. Her throwing her off and just beating up Rebel, like, it got me wanting to watch this shit. So, again, Britt's goddamn MVP of that women's division. I think we say it like Sheeta's been it in the ring, but Britt's been it as a character. Britt's been the focal point, almost like the face. She said that she's the face of it, which I think she honestly is, man.
I almost have a weird feeling. I want to call it now. Might be a hot take, but I have a feeling Thunder wins this one, and the show ends with the official graphic that she signs.
Oh, baby. Yes, I would love it.
I could see something like that happening. Because, like, I don't know. Honestly, man, does Britt clean sweep her? Because this would be, like, the third time that Britt would beat her. Really? I don't think Thunder's really beaten her yet.
No. Yeah, no.
And it's not even a rubber match. This is literally Britt's got her beat already.
Yeah, I think you're right. But, yeah, give me Thunder. Give me Thunder in AEW. I want it. I mean, we see it every week anyway, but I want it officially. Give me the official word on it, man.
But speaking officially, we are talking about the richest man in AEW right now, Mr. Hangman Adam Page, after beating Matt Hardy. And I'll be honest with you, surprisingly good match.
Surprisingly good. And I think that was the one we were talking about where we kind of were like, we're not, whatever. The storyline's good, but we really don't give a shit about the match itself.
The only other one that we were like, meh, was the Miro and Kit match, and which was yet again was a well booked feud though. Like that match made sense. I wish it was over.
I wish that's the only problem. It should be over, but unfortunately, we're gonna get more. And that's the one thing I kind of like. I don't even feel like.
I think that one's leading to another street fight-esque match, where remember they had the parking lot brawl with.
So good.
Yeah, the parking lot brawl was fantastic with PNP and the best friends. I think it's gonna be something similar like that. I think they're going for like an arcade type fight. They're gonna have.
I think he was saying he wants to have it lined up with all the machines. Like if so weird. Like I don't know what just put this in my head where you said like the street fight with all the cars everywhere. Give me a street fight. All the arcade machines, and I want some fires, and I want some fucking fire everywhere. And it's like a Mad Max type. I want like a Mad Max type fucking fire pit, but of fucking arcade machines everywhere. It'd be ridiculous.
But yeah,
or have like give me that nod of like the Shatterly Bison symbol in the fucking center of the pit or something.
But yeah, that match was still fine. I thought it started out great. It was quick enough, proved its point. But I'm gonna dial back to that Hangman and Matt match. That match actually, like I said, was surprisingly good. I'm glad it was not the one thing AEW does well is they don't give you really screwy fucking finishes, where people are cheating all the time and getting scrappy bullshit.
Really don't. They love the post-match brawl, but not so much as
there's distractions, but there's not like, oh, somebody got whacked with a chair and they're out. It doesn't happen often. Like you had the spear stuff where he would get the, lead in the glove and stuff like that. But like, you don't get stuff like that. So it was good to see that match come to a good end. I love the post-match interview where he said he was going to buy a tractor. Wednesday comes around and he has the 0-2 tractor. But I have a question, and it bothers me because I'm an Angels fan. I just bought his new shirt the other day. Why did it have to leave 5 off the tractor? Why is 5 the only one not allowed on, bro? I get there was a weight limit, but you left 5 off the tractor. Johnny Hungy over there's like 3 of him. Like, come on.
Hungy should be the one not on there, man. It's his gimmick to be left out. He shouldn't be on there.
Oh man, but that was great. It was good to see, Hangman actually with the tractor on the show. I was dying.
Hangman is the guy that AEW is really building around, man. And when he finally wins that title, probably against Kenny in front of fans, it's going to be a fucking reaction, man. It's going to be a pop.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful. What else did we have from that night?
I want
tag title match.
We could do Bucks and Jericho, but we could do that later because that's a huge thing that happened with Dynamite. Get to that. The only one, the tag team battle royal, Phoenix and Penta, your pick. They ended up.
You were on the edge of your seat.
Okay, so.
I thought so too.
Yeah, I'm watching Pac. I'm watching Phoenix, and I'm pumped. But then I also see Jungle Jack Perry over there, and I'm like, no, they're not going to do this shit. They will not piss me off to the point where they're going to make this motherfucker run the gamut there. Couldn't handle it.
When it was him and the two and Death Triangle just by themselves, I was like, they can't do this. There's no way that Death Triangle is going to lose this right now when there's 2 of them and 1 of him. And it makes me mad that, I wish they would have just pulled the trigger and just made the 2 of them look like complete and utter monsters and just destroyed them.
Yes.
Because they made, I guess it was Pac's own momentum that really eliminated him, but it still pissed me off. I was like, you have the 2 of them. Just kill Jungle Boy. Like, just kill him.
Just do it.
Just send him off and be like, oh, sorry, you still got plenty of time to grow, kid. But, like, I'm happy they won.
And it's going to give us singles matches.
Yes, we already saw one great one already.
Phoenix against Matt Jackson to open up Dynamite, which was a damn good match opening up. Right away, when I saw they're opening it, I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
Phoenix is fucking next level, man. He is other fucking worldly. And anything he's on, TV, click, I used a GIF, I think, with him whenever he would go against like Kenny or just anything, like fucking the Morpheus is fighting Neo GIF from the Matrix. Like anytime Phoenix is on, I'm rushing because he's
Yeah.
just other fucking worldly. And
I
that match with him and Matt was damn good. Especially Matt who's more of the power of the
yeah.
Bucks to go against Phoenix. Good shit.
I parked my truck at work for like 5 minutes. I was like, I'm gonna watch part of this. I listened to it and sat there and watched, and I was like, yeah, I can't complain. But yeah, I'm glad to see that. I mean, and it sucks in a way though. I love the two of them. I wish it was technically the Lucha Bros going for it because I don't understand why it's got to be these two when it could have been Penta and Ray. But I digress on that. You know, I'm excited to see it. I don't really think they're going to win the titles, but I could be wrong. They'll be a great team. The match itself actually was very successful. I think it was a really cool concept.
Yes.
It was a cool, basically, and I love what they do in their battle royales. You get a lot of stories out of it. You get the story of, QT jumping out on Dustin because he was mad. Like what are we going to get from that? Is QT turning? What's the story? You get you get feuds out of these things for people eliminating others. Yeah, just a lot of good stuff, which takes me into another big match, which was that ladder match, which
That's
you
next.
have. Obviously, the surprise entry was Ethan Page, which, a lot of people thought that was the big signing. I'm okay with it. I know you give the thumbs down. I think he's fine. I think he's a good worker.
I mean, I've seen him a lot on the indie scene. I just never was huge on him. I know he's got a huge following. I mean, a buddy of mine is all about him. He's always, he watches his blogs. He's been on his blog a lot. His daughter's been on the blog a lot. Like, it was almost like a recurring character for a couple times, which is pretty cute because he comes to Black Label Pro and Crown Point a lot. And I don't know, it's too annoying for me. But I guess that was the shtick then. And
That's what Logan thinks too.
he's upset. He doesn't want me talking about All Ego over there. But yeah, he does a debut later on. Basically after the match announces he is signed. It wasn't just a one off.
It was like right away.
Yeah, he had his singles debut, which did not go great because of technical audio difficulties. But
that was all TNT.
Thankfully, Khan said, "All right, sorry, we're gonna put it up on YouTube for free afterwards." But yeah, we had Cody, Penta. What happened with that? They got their own little feud, which we could talk about in a bit. But we got Scorpio Sky winning the fucking giant Sonic 3 ring. And
I love it.
For the memes right away. Got the giant Cheerio there. And it was a good ladder match. I mean, it wasn't super deadly. It had its moments, but that was good. I thought it was well booked. Just the only thing about it was, to me, what happened on Dynamite, where Penta comes and approaches Cody, and he's basically saying, he lost, and I'm like, Penta, you did too, motherfucker. What this? Why are you making fun of somebody for losing a ladder match when you yourself didn't win, sir? But
yeah,
I can't help it. Penta in a suit is dope as fuck and looks pure luchador, and I love it.
So there's the only thing that I take away that, from the match itself that bothered me a little bit was the WWE-esque booking of Cody in that one. Where
I'm hurt and I'm going to go away.
Well, I think he is technically legitimately hurt to a degree. From reports that came out a few weeks ago, is that he does have something wrong with his shoulder. So keeping him out of the match as long as you could is fine. But I think where, like, I had this slight glimmer of like hope in me when he kept, like, the camera kept panning towards like the entrance ramp and he's standing there. I was like, he's gonna disappear and come back as like the black-haired Cody, and he's gonna be part of like the Four Horsemen now. Like, he's just gonna flip the switch and he's gonna
get that instant die real quick.
Yeah, get the instant die, and he's just gonna be like, part of the the Four Horsemen group. He's gonna win the match, come back, take the TNT title off of Darby, right away. But I thought some weird shit was going to happen, but then we just got a lot of camera views of him standing there in the back holding a shoulder. And I'm like, I hate this shit. You should have just let him lay on the outside, and I wouldn't have even noticed him. But that takes us to Wednesday, like you said. I think we're going to get the killer Penta, which is fine by me. If he's not going to be paired up with Pac and Ray Phoenix right now, then let him kill Cody. I really don't care.
Yes. Give me that arm breaker from fucking Lucha Underground.
Oh, we're getting
Cody out there. Get Cody out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to. Because I think, I know Brandy came out and said, well, if you think my husband's going on a paternity leave, you're crazy. And I'm like, I understand he's probably not. But at the same time, if he's injured, he's going to take time off right now if the injury is that bad. And I think you can do that by having Penta snap his arm.
Yeah. He mentioned it. Basically
he
said if it was up to me, it was basically like your arm would be off. You wouldn't have that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So,
what did he call himself? Oh my God.
The Lord of Lucha Libre?
Oh, I loved it. I loved every second of it. I hate that he's paired with why is he got like I understand he butchers words left and right, but
he sound the only thing with that is
there's good and bad when he talks. Like he's sometimes when he delivers, he's really good, and then there's sometimes
Penta or his mouthpiece. Yeah, Penta Penta just sounds like a fucking dope ass dude I don't want to fuck with. That's why I love him. But when he had it paired with basically the Latino Justin Roberts, I was like, no, this just doesn't sound good.
Well,
he sounded too over the top. Like, oh, come on, bro. You're projecting that voice to announcerish.
There's some rumors though, Dick, floating around.
Let's hear it.
That
fucking
he might have.
Let me hear it.
He thanks. That he may have himself a different mouthpiece than you're expecting.
I just got hard right now. Okay, I know where that's going, and I don't. Ooh.
Yeah. I think she could be perfect.
Fuck.
Yeah. You want to sign that one up?
Yeah. Fucking say it, Zelina. Please come. Please come out. Thea, do it.
Could you see?
Holy shit.
Penta snap his arm and Zelina come out after and just wholeheartedly explain why he did that. And then, I think Brandy will be due sometime in about June, July. You can continue to build that feud for about, 6-7 months down the road. And when Brandy comes back, she can go after Zelina.
Bro.
Just saying, writing on the walls, my friend.
And
she would be a perfect
fit. And if they book it as in a very Lucha Underground style, where because who was it Catalina with Mil Muertes? The way they were just pure evil, man. She came out pure seductress, and this guy's just fucking evil as shit. And I love Lucha Underground. Sorry, I haven't said that. I really love Lucha Underground and the way they book the dark, evil shit. And so they do that with Penta. Who was Pentagon fucking dark there? Who was just evil as shit, breaking motherfuckers' arms and had one of the dopest fucking, I guess you could say no-hold-barred street fights ever with him and Vampiro, where just light bulbs and
shit. And I think, I've been hearing her name floating around, showing up eventually. Some people are saying she could be a new member of the Inner Circle. I think she would be a perfect fit for Penta, though, like I'm saying, because you give him a mouthpiece. You give a story for when the two of them and Cody and Brandy come back. You could eventually work this into Penta running around, snapping everybody's arms, eventually snapping Darby's arm off to take the TNT title, and then let Cody come back in blaze of glory for that title, against Penta at All Out, maybe at the end of the year at Full Gear type of situation. I just think that's where they do so well with long-term booking in AEW, where you're like, okay, it would make sense, and this is why I'm saying I'm not upset about Penta not being part of the tag team picture, because if I'm getting this Penta, I'm all in.
Oh, without a doubt, out of the three, Pac is evil as shit. He's a bastard. Phoenix isn't. Phoenix is 100% the babyface of this crew. When you look at it, you're behind him no matter what. And even when he does act heelish, you're still in awe of the way he moves. Penta is the evil motherfucker. and give him the singles run going after the face of AEW that is Cody fucking Rhodes. Sign me the hell up, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it. But so Scorpio wins. We can go to that and just get that out of the way for Dynamite. He got his TNT title match right away. Went against Darby Allin, and I mean the match was good. Darby ends up finishing him off with a wrestling move, outsmarts Scorpio with the roll up, and we get the
heel turn.
We get the heel turn, which I think Shivani just oversold a little too much with the tunnel thing, because that's usually my line when I text you guys. Did he go to the other tunnel? But you don't need to say it. You don't need to say it on TV. I think it was a little much. But we get the Scorpio heel turn, and I don't know how the rest of SCU is going to feel about this, but no, it was good stuff. I think Scorpio needed to change something up, because I mean he wasn't on TV for a while, and now coming back and just going heel, it spices him up a little bit, and I think he needed this.
Yeah, I think, but I mean, SCU's done eventually because they're the number 1 ranked tag team right now. They get the winners of PAC and the Young Bucks, or that triangle and the Young Bucks. So they get the winners, and they put it out there. If they don't win, they're done. I mean, the next time they lose, they're done. So I think the breakup's coming, but they have to find the right team to break them up. And I don't know if either one of those two is the right team right now. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting road. I think, I just don't know how I feel. I'd rather like one of the young teams to be able to do it, but I don't know what younger team. It would probably be, to me, Private Party would be a good team to help break up SCU if you're talking about like a heel team, which we can get into another Matt Hardy thing that we didn't talk about. Actually, we'll talk about that when we get to the last match. Never mind. But I don't know. I just think you have the Bucks beat them. I don't feel like it really matters that much. Maybe PAC and Penta and Phoenix beat them. I don't know. I mean,
and the thing with those two is who are the heels in that matchup too?
Doesn't matter.
True, it doesn't. But still, I don't know.
I want this match because it's kind of like what I thought the last one was going to be. It was just going to be about them winning the tournament or winning the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I was hoping that. I hope this match is just, all right, this is a good team against a good team. That's all this is. This doesn't have to have some bullshit story where they're attacking somebody else in the family. I think what we're going to get is you just had Phoenix beat Matt. I think in the next 2 weeks, you're going to get Nick versus PAC, and PAC's going to win. And the Young Bucks are going to go in 0-2, going, we can't beat them. And they'll have a great match, and somehow the Bucks will pull it out probably. Let it be a good wrestling match. There doesn't need to be some crazy bullshit story behind this one. These are two great, phenomenal teams. Just let it build off of that. Build a story off of it being purely about wrestling, and not, like I said, I mean, I'm glad that the Jericho and MJF one was based off of a story because that's what they're good at. But yeah, what else? What other matches did we have? We talked about
the other ones I have are, and I don't know which order. I could throw them out to you, and I'll let you pick up which order you want to go to. We could talk Bucks and Jericho MJF. We could talk about the street fight because we can get the street fight out of the way because I think the only other one we got was
the
main event.
Yeah, let's tie the last two together.
The last two together, but also the debut. We could talk the big signing because that kind of goes with the main event too because of what happened on Dynamite. So it's craziness, man. This one pay-per-view just has so much shit mixed together.
Time out there, Dick. So you're telling me booking actually worked?
Yes, it did. Okay. News flash. It can work. It's possible. Booking is possible. Hashtag booking. Because that's apparently what you've been talking about all day so far.
Maybe like Tony Khan won Booker of the Year or something. I don't know.
Oh, man, look at that. I don't know, man. Haters going to hate on that one, man.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But let's get the street fight out of the way.
So when it comes
to Sting makes his debut, his in-ring quote unquote, if you're watching on YouTube, which I will put the video back up on YouTube, quote unquote in-ring debut. Sting, Darby Allin against Cage. One of AEW's cages. Yeah, I was about to say Cage. Well, Cage, Ricky Starks, and everybody else in Team Taz.
Yeah, pretty much.
But they were also going against a million Stings that were just around there. Dude, this shit was fucking badass.
I loved every second
I
of
loved
it.
it.
I know our guys, in the group chat were a little skeptical of it.
I really, really freaking liked it.
I
And we're becoming the AEW guys, aren't we? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
we are.
You know what? I'm sorry. Next week or next time Huck comes on, he can get his WWE talking. So this isn't like I'm not like, all right, no Huck, let's do AEW. It's just honestly, I think last week we had a huge pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So we had to talk about it beforehand, and a lot of shit came out of it. So let's talk about it right now. So apologies to anybody that listens and watches. We're not giving the WWE standpoint.
Well, we got a pay-per-view coming for WWE shortly, and we also have WrestleMania in a few weeks. But guess what? You know what? Booking to a T. Their match card isn't even finished, and they're under 45 days away from WrestleMania. So there you go, WWE.
2 nights of Mania too.
Yeah, 2 nights of Mania and 2 nights of a takeover too.
Is it 2 nights of? I thought I read that. Oh,
yes.
Fuck.
So I think it's Wednesday night on USA, then it's on the network, then Friday's
not even the network, the Peacock then, or is it?
Well, technically yes, Peacock. Which they fucked that up too.
Yeah, we can get into that. I would love to. I wanted to do one with Huck about kind of almost like a eulogy for the network and just a remembrance episode of when it started, day one, what was the first thing we watched? Do we remember this? What were our favorite shows on the network? Because when the network first started, I swear, dude, I was all about like WrestleMania Rewinds. I was all about the Monday Night War, those series. And now it's on Peacock and it doesn't even have everything. And I think they even said everything will not be on there. It's going to be a gradual release again. And thank God I saved my wrestling DVDs and I still have my Blu-ray player. I might just throw some fucking DVDs on in the meantime. But I digress. We off track. Let's go back to Street Fight.
Yeah, which yeah, I was excited. That was a great match. I was really into it as soon as it started, and you saw the car drive up, and I thought it was going to be Sting and Darby at first, and then Ricky Starks walks out like a fucking badass too, and I go, where the did this come from? Like he's in like a bulletproof vest, and I was like, all right, cool, Starks. I don't mind Starks. I know some people are a little skeptical.
I love some Ricky Starks. I'm a fan of Ricky Starks.
Great worker, great, personality. A lot of people want to say he's a ripoff of Rock, but hey, you know what? It is what it is.
I said it. I think I said it last week. I like him because he does remind me of that early Nation Rock where he just has that swag of like you can't tell him nothing, and I love it.
Yeah, and I've grown a lot closer with like paying attention to some of these guys through listening to that podcast, the Unrestricted one, and not Darby, but Starks just talks about growing up loving wrestling, and one of the people he loved the most was the Undertaker, and you're like, wait, what? Like he's like hung out with the Undertaker and stuff, but I thought overall it was great. The entrances were cool. Like the Darby one with the skateboard and catching up to Sting was fucking awesome. But I knew from the jump when all that started going on, I was like, it says Darby scent all over it. This definitely does. And then like the next day, Darby comes out and like in an interview and says, yeah, I had like 90% to do with this. And I was like, I knew it. He's got the film background. I love that AEW goes, you know what? Here's the ball. Fucking run with it, kid. Like, see what you can do. And he goes down knowing that, this is probably one of the best viewed cinematic matches of the pandemic era. And that's awesome.
It's up there with the Boneyard. That Boneyard was still so good.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
That was also, I think, like the first. I mean, that was the whole thing when Mania started.
Yeah.
It was the original. When Mania started, we're like, holy shit, this was great. And then I still think that Firefly Funhouse thing was god-awful bullshit garbage. But it was trash, bro. No, I will not defend anything about that. But
that was
awesome. Yeah, so it's up there. It's up there. It's this year's Boneyard, really, because that shit was so comical, though. The Boneyard, it was just 100% like just pure. You could tell they were having fun with it. This thing felt like they wanted to make like a fucking movie, and I think they succeeded, man. It was so good to watch. It's so fun. But like I said, the only downer was the commentary over it that you could tell they were doing commentary while watching it, like on, they're watching on the screen, commentating over it, and they're kind of talking over some of the main parts, talking over the music, which I didn't like. I hope somehow they release it just
without that.
Yeah, which I know they will because I mean it's a pay-per-view, so they're not going to do it right away. I have a feeling they will, maybe in a month or so after the hype of this died down. They should have released it right the fuck away with the way the fucking main event ended, kind of like as a make it of okay, you know what? Yeah, that happened, but here's this. But I was a fan of it in the end. We got Sting and Darby. Sting and Darby winning, man. Good.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by it. Darby, of course, takes this damn risky jump off a fucking window, threw some plywood down a couple more sets of,
Bro.
oh my god.
Oh, them fucking just
oh my god, that was probably, I was like, I saw like the glance of the window pane and I go, Darby's going through that. Darby's 100% going through that right now. And then they just swing him and I'm like, yep, that was awesome. And then Darby just jumping up and like climbing on shit like a monkey.
So
like, dude, just such good stuff throughout the match. Cage carrying Darby up in a brainbuster up the sets of stairs, like,
bro,
buddy.
That Cage is a fucking, I'll say it, a machine is what the fuck he is. So that shit was some of the biggest, like, big dick energy of the world. Like, I'm just gonna carry this motherfucker.
I mean, I understand Darby's all of 170 pounds soaking wet, but like, that was perfect.
Who the fuck's gonna do that? And like, not only who's gonna do that, and who's gonna feel safe doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like you said, man. It was perfect. I loved every second of it. Everybody involved in that match should be 100% proud of themselves through it. One thing I take away from this, it's weird to say this. Mm-hmm. I'm really kind of excited to see where things go with Hook.
He didn't look bad there. I mean,
no, he didn't.
I know nothing about him other than, Taz's son.
He trained,
but he looked like a damn stud there.
Yeah. I think it's just cool. You just see the subtle like introduction of him and he just kind of starts to get more and more involved and it's awesome. The only other takeaway is you flip it to Wednesday night where Sting comes out and starts talking and yet again here we go. Another week of an interruption. Like, can we not
and that meme I sent you was legit their AEW on TNT account. It wasn't a meme of someone else. Yeah. It was there.
They're doing it on purpose because people notice.
So, and you know what? They are starting to troll us, and it is getting funny. But God,
yeah, you can go 1 week without bringing them out there,
And this was something
they're getting their money's worth.
Yeah, they are. At the start of Sting coming, was it even before? I think it was before he was announced. Archer on Twitter said some shit, they were tagging each other, or Sting was tagging Archer in a tweet. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. I don't know where they're gonna go with this. I don't know.
I just heard Logan say hell yeah. I don't know about you.
Hell yeah, man. Fucking Murder Hawk. Let's do it. Yeah, very interesting. Archer comes out to interrupt, and what's going on there, man? It's just I'm scared with Sting, no matter what. But hey, man, if he's confident, if he feels that he could do it, and AEW feels confident with it, hell, Edge is fucking wrestling again. Daniel Bryan's wrestling again.
Yeah, so which takes us into the next battle of everything was the major signing being Christian Cage, who obviously also got interrupted on Wednesday night by everything going on. Or he came out to interrupt, I should say.
Came out to interrupt, yeah.
But yeah, so what's your views on that? I know we talked about it a little bit. I already said it. I don't hate the signing. I just hate how it got overhyped. And I don't blame just the company. I blame social media and the fan base for being so excited, which then I think hyped up the company. Because the company didn't overhype it from the start. They said major Hall of Fame worthy signing. And then people got hyped.
Mr. No BS himself though didn't help though by hyping it on the actual show, saying this is big, this is like him saying it is just normal hype. him doing it isn't overhype. Him doing it is hype. Internet just ran with it. That was it. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
of
internet,
course, you're on TV. You're going to say we've got someone that is huge. That is a Hall of Fame worthy talent.
which
Big.
technically they're not wrong. He is a Hall of
They
Fame
are
worthy
not.
wrestler.
Somebody
And
in two different companies who's been a world champion in two different companies.
well, and not only that, one of the most decorated champions in the world. You got all over, like I said, he's been all over the world. And then you also have to look at the fact he was just on WWE 40
Literally.
days ago or some odd stuff like that. He was just on the Rumble.
Oh, two major fucking fanfare and some major pops.
Yeah, so it's big. It was a big move that, you know what? They told him, hey, we don't have anything for you. He said, okay, I still want to wrestle.
And
So,
to me, the best part about this is, which is so funny. I watched it with a buddy of mine here, and so we were first time I watched wrestling with somebody in, oh my gosh, since I think Revolution last year. So like he was at my couch, he's one end, I'm on the other, and once that music hit
you knew.
my eyes, because I know, I think I tweeted it maybe last month. Never forget that Evanescence, My Last Breath TNA theme. And I hear that and I just, my eyes. So I'm like, to me, the biggest return is the Evanescence ripoff theme, which I'm fucking pumped about, baby.
Yeah, because I'm followed. I follow and I am followed by the guy that does most of the themes for
All
AEW.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
brag, but whatever.
Yeah, well, humble brag. But yeah, no, Mike is his name. He said he was super excited to do that theme song. He knew, um, they wanted to throw together kind of something that was similar to that old theme. So he was really excited to be able to just mesh it all together. He was like, hell yeah, I was so pumped for that. Um, I mean, like I said, I like the signing. Where it took us Wednesday night was interesting. I'm still skeptical, but I do like what I saw somebody post about it. Obviously, he came out and interrupted after the 69 segment by Kenny Omega and
Don Callis.
and Don Callis, which was hysterical, by the way. I'm not gonna. I thought it was funny.
My immature humor laps. It's all good.
I was like, okay, yeah, keep going with it.
If anybody needs to know about how immature I am, I'm wearing a backwards fucking red New Era cap. I will not show what's on the back of it though. But if you saw how hyped I was about Evanescence.
All right, Fred Durst over there.
Oh, yeah. Hey man, one of the best SmackDown versus Raw hitting characters there was.
There you go. So yeah, no, that segment was cool and all with, getting Moxley and Kingston back out there. And then, Christian Cage comes out, interrupts, and looks like he's going to be, putting his place right into the world title picture.
Which a lot of people aren't digging, especially us in our group chat.
Yeah, I said that was a very WWE move. And then I saw some people really break it down, and I said, okay, I can see where a lot of people are thinking. Basically, the thought process is you put him in there. You just hyped him up as a Hall of Fame worthy talent. You put him in that picture. He obviously is there to just supplement the time for Kenny. You let him and Kenny throw out a good match. And then you go down from there where now Christian has just put on a great match with Kenny, and he can now go down and start working with some of these younger guys, getting some of them more TV ready, so getting them to the top, where I'm pretty sure he's kind of wanting to work with people. I know he wants to wrestle more, but I don't think he's coming here to steal time from, to win a championship. But I was like, okay, I can dig that. I just don't like that he walks out and he's like, oh yeah, this is going to be mine. Like, I'm like, come on, you could have given me oh, but I see what's on the back of the hat now.
No, damn it.
That's a lot. But anyways, yeah, I just think that you could have given it a little bit more time, but you did need a third person to come out and help, Mox and Kingston to kind of get away from the Stooges, I guess. So you'll get that triple threat or that six-way match at some point, I guess, probably in the next few weeks. Because this week coming up, we actually have Kingston and Moxley versus the Good Brothers, which should be interesting. So I have to ask you, since you're a big, huge Eddie Kingston mark, what did you end up thinking of the breakdown talk that they had?
All right, you know what? The breakdown of what the hell happened?
Yes.
All right, so I mean, if nobody else knows, the barbed wire exploding death match ended on a whimper where we were
Oh yeah,
promised an explosion, and after a fucking brutal, like what, 27-minute, 25-minute fucking bloodfest,
yeah.
we
It was
got.
probably about 25, 27. Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great fucking match where these two basically killed each other with barbed wire, explosions, a
Exploding
bat with
bat.
barbed wire that fucking blew up. Good shit, a fucking paradigm shift off the apron to barbed wire where Mox got the worst of it, I think.
How about the sacrificing of his own body part to not just really kick out, but shock out of a one-wing angel?
Which was great because that was for great foreshadowing where an explosion went off. Who was it? Was it Kenny that originally got the smoke in the eye, and they're stopping like, oh my god, he can't see, which caused later on the kick out or whatever to blind someone. I'm like, oh, foreshadowing, which is great booking, or as you would say. And yeah, it ended basically
On a dud.
on a dud. Countdown hits. Eddie Kingston runs in, starts trying to get Mox out of the ring. He's crying. He covers him, and fucking the biggest whimper of the world. The sparklers, fucking the synapse. It was bad.
Yep.
And I think I said like my neighbors put on a better fucking show every fourth,
Yep.
and they
But
couldn't afford half sticks. Give me some fucking noise. You could have blew some motherfucking shit up, but
so you had a big, you know what? You had a lot of stuff happen there too. You have the friendship come back with Mox and Kingston. You have the Butcher and the Blade disgusted that he even wants to go out there and save him, so they walk away, and now they're getting paid by Matt Hardy to be in his Hardy compound, faction of some weird ass sorts, whatever they're doing. So, I like it though because you get so many stories out of it where you're like, okay, well, Kingston and those guys break up now. Basically, they chase the money. Kingston now has his drinking buddy back, but he looks like a bitch in the process. um,
I hate it. And you want to know what I thought about his fucking explanation? I muted it. I can't fucking stand him because I just cannot listen to him. But from what I read, panic attacks, what he used to have in jail, blah 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 blah. Eddie Kingston, I can't stand him. I believe nothing he says, even if what he says is the truth. I believe nothing because I think he's fucking. I just do not believe his cadence. I don't believe shit when he talks, so I don't listen.
I thought the whole thing with the explanation between even Callis and Kenny and then Moxley and Kingston, I thought it was fine. I think they did the best they could.
They covered up the best they could.
And that was it. Like, to blame it on Impact buying them, buying the sparklers. That was funny. Don Callis saying we ripped the hero moment away from you.
Good.
Because we knew you would want to come save him. We wanted to take. I'm like, there. You did the best you could with a segment that went south, and I'm all there for it.
Yeah.
So to continue their little feud, I'm fine with it. With Kingston involved now, I'm fine with it. I'm with you. I don't have a problem with Kingston when he's in the ring as a brawler or talking like he did this Wednesday, but when he has a live mic and he's trying to be a heel and all he's doing is yelling into it, I can't listen because I don't like that delivery. I hate the way he delivers there. I thought he delivered fine on Wednesday, though, by the fire. I think it could have been explained a little bit better, but that's okay. I know a lot of people that are huge on Eddie Kingston, but I don't know. I thought it was good enough. They got themselves out of that rut. It should be fine because I'll tell you what, they definitely got themselves out of that rut because that ain't even the main feud going on in AEW anymore.
That's true because let's get to it.
Because we can talk about MJF and Chris Jericho taking a loss to the Young Bucks to start the show. To start the show. So they end the show, and we talked about this because I said, wow, what was the last match? I was like, it's 8:30. We've got what should be the last match, technically, in Darby and Scorpio going at it. And I go, wow, a half hour is a long time for a 20-minute time limit match. Are we getting something big to end that? And then I sit there and I go, we didn't get the War Council yet.
It's true. And to basically lead to what the War Council was, they lost to the Bucks. Said later on, we're gonna have to something's gonna have to change. We're gonna have a War Council on Dynamite.
Yep.
And so that led to it. They come to the ring, and
They get
start
interrupted
talking.
they talk, get interrupted
We
by
need some
Sammy.
changes. There need to be some changes in the inner circle. Sammy makes his return, coming out of that babyface tunnel. And basically just what do they say right away?
We didn't want we didn't want to hear your name anymore. He shows him the footage of MJF trying to get the rest of the inner circle to pair with them. And that's when Jericho has flashbacks to, his time with Kevin Owens and getting turned on and all Jericho's. Just stop making friends, Jericho. Really.
You know what? Seriously.
They all turn on you in the end. But something caught my eye when we sat there and we were watching that segment. And I'm sitting there going, I feel like something's missing. But I didn't realize it until the inner circle was about to attack Jericho. And obviously I was like, oh, they're going to turn and go after MJF. So MJF, Dick, goes into the corner, starts crying like a little bitch, and then smirks and said, I wasn't trying to take over your group. I was building my own. And then the lights went out and I said, we didn't see Wardlow that whole time.
That's true. You don't know. You don't pay attention to it.
I was like, wait a minute. Wardlow wasn't there the whole time. And I went, oh. Lights go out and I go, it's the Dark Order. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, every surprise in AEW basically the mic's out.
Yeah, right. So what were your first reactions like to all of that? Like, because
couple things. You know how I am with FTR right away.
Yes.
Everyone knows how I feel with them, and I don't see them. No, to me, I just don't see them as big. I don't see them anything. I don't like them. Wardlow, I love. I really started liking a lot. Spears to me was one of the most underutilized, or not even underbooked, wrongly booked, and he should have been a star right the hell away. And I don't know what happened. He just had that feud with Cody, lost, and then that was the end of it. And just a lot of like random little feuds. But he was with Tully. Tully is with FTR, so obviously
he dropped him though.
Yeah, true. Great, great combination there. Just it's gonna be tough for me because of my stance on FTR. I just do not like them at all. But hey, if I like 3 out of the 5, that ain't that bad.
Yeah,
it was something I wasn't expecting though, because I mean we're either thinking MJF's taking over he's either taking over the inner circle or they're just gonna kick him out and that's the end of it. I was not thinking he was gonna build his own little crew.
I knew he was gonna build his own crew. I did not expect it to be that crew.
Yeah.
100%. People are like, oh, I saw the signs. I mean, I get it. Now that we look back, I see the signs. I sent it to you guys, I think. The very first pandemic show that they ever had. Look back at that picture. There was a picture shared on social media. I think it was by Spears. Spears was sitting there with MJF, Tully Blanchard, and in the back was Wardlow. The very first pandemic show. A year ago, Dick. This is a year in the making.
That's true. It was MJF and Spears that were betting on the matches the very first fucking match. Or the very first week.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
So, looking back, I'm going to just say this one last time, my friend. Long-term booking. I've sat here and I've talked to one of my other buddies, and I sit there and I go, man, I feel like, they sometimes just magically work themselves into these storylines. And then I sit there and I go, they can't keep doing this. Every week I sit there and I go, man, how did this story, it feels like they've been doing this for a long time. And it's like, I don't know if they're just lucky or if they really have worked on some of this stuff for so long. But my first reaction, I was shocked because, like I said, I didn't expect it to be that group. Everybody thought that was going to be the 4 Horsemen group. Mm-hmm. It looks like, they might be in a sense that type of group. So we'll see what really comes from that. I don't have an issue with FTR. I thought MJF was bring this old stable back, basically.
Yeah, and you know what? And it is good though because over in MLW. Yeah, I forgot what the name was.
Yeah.
But no, they need it. You think about a stable needs a tag team. So there they go. Tully has a connection with FTR and the connection with Spears. God damn, Wardlow, there's your fucking monster. And he looked like a fucking monster star.
I have gone back and watched that segment probably 15 times already, and I have to say this. This is what I'm saying, and I will die on this sword. That is probably their best shot segment to date. Because everything that happened was just perfect to a T in my eyes. You focused on Jericho, the leader of the Inner Circle. You took the big man out real quick with a bottle to the head. No complaints there. You handcuffed the tag team and destroyed them. You continued to beat on Jericho. Sammy got absolutely murdered by eating a chair by Spears. So
yeah,
for everyone to say that that guy doesn't fit in this group, don't talk badly of the chairman because he fits perfectly fine. I love it. He looks like future Butters though, so maybe he needs to dye the hair again because I really don't like that look. But
Spears was a fucking star when he debuted or when he showed up and butchered fucking Cody's head in. Right there. Right there should have been it.
Yes. And so let's get back to that.
Deceivingly giant as well. So like
so we've got so many matches built out of this. Like I think the star of the night in that segment alone was Wardlow. The power bomb absolutely murdered Jericho. It was awesome.
I was terrified of that damn.
The coolest picture was Jericho bleeding, crawling to the bat, and MJF stepping on a hand to get it away from him. Like that's what I'm saying. Like so many, like, and I keep like tweeting out the gifs from that night, and I'm like, I can't even be mad at that. Like there's so many like good moments where you're like, oh my God, and they did everything right. Just for me to wrap that up, like that is now the biggest feud in all of AEW. I see that being the blood and guts match down the road.
Yes.
But I have a question because obviously people wanted to claim this as the new Four Horsemen. Where do you see, or what have you thought about for names? Have you thought of where they could go with this?
I haven't at all. Not in the slightest, because I mean I don't want a horseman at all. I got nothing. Is there something that you're thinking?
Yes, I do. I have one name, and I think this is the absolute perfect name to go with, and I can't even be mad.
What you got?
And I'm not claiming it as my own. I wish I remember where I saw it. I saw it on Facebook, so I can't even remember who posted it. But somebody said, just simply named it, the War Council.
Great.
I mean, you can't be mad.
No.
That segment was the War Council. They're the War Council. Like,
nice.
Simply put, it's right in front of you. Like,
I love it.
I'm like, there you go. I mean, and then you have MJF sitting on the turnbuckle like a smug little prick. Like,
I mean,
he is
perfect. Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out Buzz because I'll probably see him at some point later, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, you love some MJF, don't you? The little fucking prick." But he played his. I can't be mad.
No, it was great, and like you said, there's our blood and guts feud, which we weren't able to get last year. We're going to be able to get our blood and guts, and yeah, there's your main event scene, which is fine now with Christian going after Kenny. You're complaining about him not going to the main event. Really, he isn't. He might be going after the title, but this ain't the main event. This is the fucking main event right now.
And
you got the baby.
You got
so many matches. So many matches, and plus now you got the Inner Circle as baby faces. So now there's more matches for you there. And great show. I mean, I think I had said it at the start when Dynamite was happening. It felt disjointed to me. I didn't know what was going on during the show, but at the end of it, so many things just clicked. Damn good post pay-per-view show. I honestly, that's all I got today, man.
Yeah,
I think I'm getting a little close to. I have to wrap it up. It's a Saturday afternoon. I kind of would like to enjoy this beautiful fucking weather. And shit, man. Thanks again, bro. I appreciate you helping out for 2 weeks. I appreciate whoever's listening to us. Thank you. I'm still trying to get my bearings here. Huck will be back soon. He's slowly making his way back into the social media game, and he'll be back soon. I know he's going to want to come to talk about this Andrade news. So.
Oh yeah, I know he definitely wants to talk about that. Maybe he'll make his triumphant return from injury soon, or maybe somebody will just have to put him on the shelf again.
Oh man! But shit, Ant. tell us where they can find you and all your good work, my man.
Well, as I've said previously, you can follow me on Twitter at PremierAmp. You can follow all my work with OnTap Sportsnet at ontapsportsnet.com. I had predictions last week for Revolution. I'm sure I'll put some stuff out for Mania, even though I don't follow it as much. I was pretty good. I think I went 8 for 1 on predictions. Good time on that one. A lot of, like I said, matches seemed predictable, but they were just well done. That was a great pay-per-view overall. I don't care what Huck says that he wasted $50. Maybe he should start sharing an account with other people and not having to pay $50. That's
hey man, it's true. Just because a match seems predictable doesn't mean it's going to be shitty. It's the truth, man. Yeah. Just because it's predictable does not mean that it's going to be a horrible match. And
like you said, man, they wrapped it up perfectly well on Wednesday night, and I'm excited to see where all of this goes leading into the next pay-per-view.
100%. It felt like a roll or like a complete turnover. It was great. It almost felt like a Mania after Raw. Like so much shit just fucking like, whoa. Whatever happened, like now it's new stuff, man. Which we talked about with each match that we went over, it went into something new, which was good.
Yeah, and they all did. And, you look at it, and the only other thing I have to say is that they announced Double or Nothing will be at the end of May this year. Yes. Unfortunately, it's going to be a Sunday again. But the reason I love what AEW does is Tony Khan came out and even answered the question as to why he was doing Sunday. He said it's something he wants to continue to try once in a while. And it is a 3-day weekend for a lot of people in America. So they will have Monday off. But I said, not everybody does, so I think that's a little bit risky. I was 100% correct. They almost ran to 11 o'clock on Sunday. So that's their one issue I think they still need to fix. Stop going so late if you're going to do Sundays, please. Or start earlier. That's the only thing I can say.
We'll see how it goes, but either way, I had fun watching it. I had fun talking about it beforehand, and I had fucking great time talking about it afterwards with you, man. So, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate that. Follow us on Twitter at WPod Wrestling, at Saves Tuesday, at Huck WPW, at PremierAmp. Thank you, everybody. Get some shirts. A new one's going to be coming out. This is episode 22, I believe. Pay attention to us on when episode 25 drops. That's all I got to say.
Sneak peek.
And sneak peek! Everybody, thank you very much. Saves Tuesday. Dick the Knife. I'm out of here. Amp, thank you, my man. We'll see you next time on World Podcast Wrestling. Laters.